I just give a little wait to see who comes on. I know I didn't announce it to anybody except for one person, and that was because I was hoping to get her in here. Um, so I'm just waiting for a moment or two, but I have a verse that I wanted to talk about. So I'll just wait some more. Ah, 3 people. Hello, anime. 3 people, one talker. Okay. Hello, Sandra. Um, just give me a moment, folks. I am prepping myself or getting myself ready to go. Um, Jim. Should well, I got something I'm going to read off here in a little bit. I'm just going to wait for some other people while I get um, this all set up. Watchers. Okay. Hey Sheila, I'm glad you made it here. I'm hoping for bluegrass. I let Nellie know I was going on, so hopefully she'll jump in here in a little bit. I was informed Nellie had been busy last couple of days, so I now understand why she didn't show up to last night's video or live chat. Trying to keep hydrated. Today's been a kind of a muggy day. I had the windows open until I realized how muggy it was outside, and I looked at my phone. It's 71% humidity. Yeah, let's close up these doors and get the air on. I also gotta. I have reminders sitting around the house of certain things I gotta do. Like, I have a new filter tube for my refrigerator ice maker, and then I've got the filters for the air conditioner sitting out where I can see them to remind me, hey, these 2 things are overdue. Um, my day so far has been busy. Um, as most of you know, I don't go out to a church. I just have church at home, read my Bible, things like that. But we started working on rearranging the bedroom, and we finally got we got some of the stuff cleaned up. We got the dresser in the closet with the clothes. So we're on a good start. I just needed a break because being the person who does the bulk of the work, because Jerry can't do a lot of heavy lifting or anything like that. So I got to be the workhorse, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that when times come to a certain point, I need to take a break. Well, Sandra, that is up in the air, and we're not going to talk about that because it seems like every time we find a place that would be good for us, and I say anything, that piece of property gets basically bought. The piece of property we were just looking at, well, it had a lot of people with their bids and their offers already in the works, and it would be virtually impossible for us to get that property unless we were able to pay the full price up front, which no, we can't. But we're trying to make do with our living situation. But since you brung that up, I will talk about this one. I will talk about something that I talked to Mom about yesterday or earlier today. It was sometime in the last 24 hours. I asked Mom a serious question because mom's been looking at places, and mom's been having a hard time finding something that will work for her within her budget. And I asked mom, I just simply asked mom, do you think that God is trying to tell you something, that the reason why you haven't been able to find anything is because God wants you to stay put, and basically look for something for where all of us can actually live in? Like the last place we looked at, which had too many bids on it, it had a nice 3 bedroom house on it with a lot of like 2.45 acres worth of land. So mom could have put a trailer or a tiny home on that piece of property without being too close to us and having to listen to the dog bark all the time. So it's just one of those, like, we're trying to do our thing. Have we sat down and think about what God might be trying to tell us? It's just one of those, like, head scratcher. She doesn't need to go to Fort Leonard Wood to check her benefits. She already knows what her benefits are. So it's not a big deal. That right there is not a problem. We know what her benefits are. So, you know. Hey Nelly, you're finally here. Mom's also here. Ma, I don't remember your exact answer. Yeah, okay. Mom said that she thought maybe he was trying to tell her to keep trying. So I don't know. We don't know the full answer to those questions. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's sometimes it's not up to us. Sometimes it's all up to him, and we just need to try to follow his lead. Once we realize what his lead is. Um, oh yeah, I know they change all the time. But she keeps track of that stuff. Um, that could be too, Sandra. I mean, God could have the perfect place for us. It just we haven't found it yet, or for her, or whatever. Yeah, mom doesn't need to make sure she has her options available, and I am pretty sure she's well versed on that. That's all right, Sandra. There are some days where I just can't even think straight. Luckily, not the melatonin, the Ritalin is starting to help me with my thoughts and whatnot. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of things that we've talked about lately, and it's I don't know if I should say they're still up in the clouds or they've already been decided, um, because we learned recently, um, through her mortgage company, that she can easily switch the mortgage to us without any penalties to her. So that's also one of the things that is being thought about. Um, hmm, that is interesting. We have not heard about that yet, or we haven't looked into that yet, I guess. But um, no offense towards my mom, because if she can find a place that she wants to go to, great. I'll be happy for her. Um, but my personal opinion, and this has nothing to do with trying to control the situation or anything like that, but my personal opinion and my feelings from my gut, and I trust my gut, is we should try to find a property big enough for mom to have a tiny house, and me and Jerry can have the trailer or whatever is already sitting on there. Um, well, that's the thing, is the loan company or the company that has a mortgage under their titlement that mom pays towards works with VA loans. So all I know is what has been researched, but that's that's not here nor or there. It's really one of those kind of things like if mom wants to move, mom can move. I'm not trying to keep her here, but I would like to keep this house. I can see a lot of potential in this house for basically dividing the house. Me and Jerry live in the north side of the house while we rent out the south side of the house. Now, with the south side of the house, the people have more room because there's two bedrooms, one room that could be a safe room or just, break down the faux wall and turn it into one giant room. And they'll still have two bedrooms, a bathroom, a living area, eat-in kitchen. Well, Jerry Ann and I will have two bedrooms, one bath, and one giant room. So, it's, really kind of one of those things that we're trying to talk about. Hey, Marguerite. So it's, you know, well, that's the things we would have to go through those steps, Nelly. We would have to literally go through those steps and check it out and see what we can do and that stuff. So it's there's a lot of things that is just like either A, unknown, or B, in the works. But that's that's the way it is right now. Nobody's trying to keep mom here. Nobody's trying to um, manipulate mom so we can have her here for whatever reasons people are talking about, which yeah, is bumpkiss. Let's see here. Well, that's the thing is I realize that if we stay in Rolla, like if we stay within the city itself, or what we want to call Rolla, small town, big city, I don't know, or big town, small city, um, I I want to stay in Rolla because if we stay in Rolla, let's say we keep this house, um, or we get a smaller house in the vicinity of Rolla. Most everything in Rolla is anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes away from each other. So it's like even if mom was off of Highway 63 North, or no, Highway 63 South, it's one of the two major um, state highways. Um, so let's say she's down towards the other end of town on 63. We're over here on 72, or even even up on Ohio. Um, she's probably about 10 minutes away. You know, and the last place that she was at, she really liked, but it was like one of those. It would take most of her money, and to pay out her car insurance, her phone, and her food would be scratching the bottom of the barrel, and she doesn't want that. So you know, so it's one of those kind of things. It's like, okay, find out find out where mom's gonna, if where mom's gonna move into, and then there's I think it's a 60-day, um, 60 days in between moving one from one location to another location that she has to finalize the paperwork to basically end contract or mortgage or whatever with this house, unless Diane and I can find a way to buy it off of her, or flip her mortgage to our name, or my name, I should say. And then, you know, or if Diane and I decide to move out of here to move a little bit closer to mom, we'll know where she is and we can start looking for houses or something like that in that neighborhood and hope we can find something that we can afford. So yeah. Yes. You can say whatever you want. So yeah. Um, yeah. That's right, Sheila. We just have to cross our, dot our I's and cross our T's, um, which that's what we're working on. Hey, Ethel, I'm glad you made it. Um, Please pray. Yeah, I pray to God. Um, I actually pray to God a lot. That's why I came up with that question for mom. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of like, hey, what are we doing? I don't pray to God like most people. Dear God, I just say, hey, God, we got a lot of stuff going on down here. What's the 411? I mean, where are we headed? What are we doing? So it's one of those like I don't want to be like the military where it's hurry up and wait, but that's what it feels like. It feels like hurry up and wait. Um, but I'm not pushing anything. I'm just trying to get yeah, trying to get everything balanced out so I can figure out, because right now it's just kind of like until we know what's going on, we're just going to continue cleaning up the house and rearranging and organizing and that kind of stuff. So me and Jerry feel comfortable without putting mom out, because I'm like, I want to try these things, and I'm hoping mom is willing to try them and hope everything goes in a good way. Um, so that is such an important, yeah. Let's see here. I got a lot of times. God says, "Wait." Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the way I feel right now. Is like you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Things will happen in a good way when it's time. I'm kind of hoping it will happen after winter time because we're supposed to get bad winters here. All right, the only person I do not see that I wanted to come on here is Bluegrass. So he is just going to have to watch my video later. This morning, I wanted to talk about a Bible verse that pretty much everybody should know. That's John 3:16. Now, hold on a second. I'm gonna go back to it, and then I'll come back to you guys. Um, Now, this is out of the King James Version. I have a Bible app that has quite a few versions. I kind of switch between King James and NIV. But we all know that John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Now, that that verse has always been one of those like I don't want to say spiritual check or brain check or religious check or anything like that. It's one of those verses that basically in my mind tells me that as long as I believe in God, in Jesus, no matter what I do, I'm saved. I'm washed clean of my sins. And I believe that very strongly because nobody here on earth is perfect. We're all flawed no matter what we think about ourselves. There's a flaw. There's always a flaw in the works, or in the monkey in the system. And the thing is, it don't matter what your flaws are, and I got a lot of them. I've got a lot of flaws, physically, mentally, sometimes spiritually. I've got flaws. Now, my thing is, though, even though I've got all the flaws, I strongly believe that Jesus, as long as He is in my heart and I believe in Him as my Savior, it won't matter because, you know, in the end, I'm going to be weighed and measured by my characteristic, not my beliefs, not the flaws, none of that. I'm going to be weighed and judged by what I believe God has more important parts of you to judge and weigh you, and that's your heart. That's your heart. It's not your brain, it's not your liver, your lungs, your tongue. It's your heart. It's what's in your heart. Now, I strongly believe, because I was raised Christian, that I know who Jesus is to me. I know who his father is to me. And now he is basically master of all things. And I mean, I love my family to death, but if there was a call by God to rise up for whatever reason, to shake off your shackles and prove to the world that God doesn't care about your upbringing. He doesn't care about your culture or your religious beliefs. What he cares about more is how you lived your life, how you treated each other. That's in your heart. That's recorded in your heart. So it's one of those, like, you can't judge another person without looking in the mirror, because it's like, hey, yeah, Jim's got these flaws. I'm gonna use those flaws to pick on him. What about what you see in yourself when you look in the mirror? What about your thoughts of what God is going to weigh you by because of what you did to another person? Now, I'm not trying to bring up the haters or anything like that. I'm just trying to point out that every human being has to look at themselves and go, was I a good person? Did I do right by God? I think I look at myself a lot of times and go, no, I didn't. I'm kind of ashamed of some of the things I did. But the thing is, that shame, all you have to do is bring it to God. Let God deal with that. You know, it's not something that we need to carry, because the more negativity we carry, the harder it is to have a good heart. I should know. I've been there. I've been one of them people, and yeah, I was ashamed of that. But then I realized, hey, there's a method of changing this. There's a method to get rid of this without hurting anybody, and that's all I needed to do. You know, yes, there was a good decade or more of trial and tribulation because of, how can a 15-year-old boy who hasn't fully become a man, and done manly things and had a father that teach him how to shave, or other things that most men don't want to bring to their mother. So I had to learn a lot about myself and who I am, and I'm still learning. I truly am, because it's one of those things where you go, yeah, I see a lot of things in that person that I could use to pick on them and put them down and make them feel bad. Is it worth my time? No. It's not worth my time. It's not worth the energy. It's To be honest with you, when I was going through my negative time, it was a life suck. It drained a lot of my energy. It drained a lot of myself out, because I didn't want to deal with, the positivity I had as a kid went bye-byes, you know, and then I became just a sad sack of bones. I didn't want to I didn't want to deal with anything. But I got married to Jerry Ann. She helped me pull myself up. And she taught me a lot of things I probably would not have learned without her. Not just the joy of life, but driving, some stuff like that. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, Jerry Ann's no good to you," blah 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 blah, and want to tell me otherwise about, the negative things that they think Jerry Ann's doing when Jerry Ann's not doing anything negative. You might perceive it as negative, but without knowing Jerry Ann, you wouldn't know, any of the negative stuff that we've dealt with in the beginning that we've ironed out for the most part. But we're a couple. We still have our disputes and arguments. So it's one of those like, why are you judging anybody? You know, if you got a problem with somebody, you need to look at yourself before you start making judgments. And it's just like, no, 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 we're not going to go there. That's why I have stopped watching a lot of other people's channels, because it's like, not that I'll get upset at like the really good people like Crafting Gypsy, which is one of Jerry's viewers, but then you have like people like, and I'm not bringing this up or saying this to start anything, but like the negative people, like Diane and JPA or JHP or whatever. No, it's like, why? Why why is it they have nothing better to do but pick on people? Well, I missed a lot of you guys' comments, so let me go back for a moment. Because I do want to read you guys' comments. I really like reading you guys' comments. Let's see here. Redhead Storm, hello. Mona, hello. Exactly. Exactly, Sheila. It doesn't matter how we pray. It's just that we are talking to God about it and trying to exactly get His guidance. Um, well, that's the thing is whatever's going on, whatever the plan is, and we as human beings make plans, but God laughs. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but that's the thing is you can make all the plans you want, and God will be like, okay, that one yes, these no. You'll have to wait for these, or maybe these aren't even on the table in your cards or whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, we all are sinners. Um, well, that's the thing is, we can never be like even Jesus. We can walk like Jesus. We can talk like Jesus, but we'll never be that good. We'll never be free of sin. We'll never be able to, you know, do Jesus. We can be like him, but we can't be him. And I don't think he leaves us the same. I think God, when God decides that it's time for a person to change, like if it wasn't for Jerry, I would not have changed what I was doing back then. But obviously there was a reason why me and Jerry were meant to be. You know. Um, Thank you, Nellie. I try to be a good guy. Sometimes I'm not that great. It is very humbling, Sheila, because I mean, we have all these Bibles, and we have all this information about Jesus and God and all the great things that He did, and the trials and tribulations of the Israelites. It it's terrible that today in our day that there are so many problems in Gaza and between the Israels and the I can't even remember the other group. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not fully up to date with names, but it's just some of the things that are happening today. It's like, why? I mean, if you look at the news, you're hearing a whole lot about what's going on in the Middle East. there's been news about things going on between, you know, the Chinese and the U.S. Naval forces in the South Pacific near the Philippine Islands, and it's international waters, and it's like, what the heck, you know? And then you've got to sit down and weed out what's right or what's true and what's not true. So I've given up on, given up on watching the news because it's just so, yeah, it's so downing. Yeah, exactly. We try to be more like we strive to follow in Jesus' footsteps. We will never be that. You know, we will never be like Jesus. We can only follow in his footprints and hope that what we do in his name is what Jesus would want us to do. Hey, Crafty Gypsy, I was just talking about you a second ago. I agree with you. Most of you say I have issues with people who get confused about their will and they will about what their will. Okay, a little confusing there to end there, Limmer, but I think I got the gist. Oh, Limber was agreeing with something Sandra said, and then she said something about people who get confused about they and they. Basically, different two different spellings of they and there, or something like that. Um, well, that's the thing is, I don't really hate anybody, Mona. There's a lot of people I get upset with because of their opinions or their feelings towards others. And I'm not talking about me and Jerry. I'm talking about there's other people out there they've talked about, and I'm just kind of like, why? It's like, don't you have something better in your life to do than research other people and like troll them or stalk them? Um, so it's kind of like, what the hey? Um, Sheila, I told you this years ago, Jim. It may seem corny, but I think as Christians we need to think more about what would Jesus do. Oh, that's not corny. That's not corny. When I was going to college back in the mid '90s, I was going to Ozark Christian College. Um, a lot of us used to wear those bracelets as WWJD. Um, and it was something not just as a fashion, but it was something to remind us to, like, what would Jesus do in this situation? You know, turn the other cheek, rebuke the person, what? So it is one of those things where it's like we need to get back to wearing clothing and well not clothing, well yeah, maybe clothing or bracelets that just remind us, think about what Jesus would do. I know that's not easy for me because I have so many problems going on in my head that it's just kind of like, um, I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. I forget that I should be thinking about other things than what I am thinking about. And it's one of those things. All right. Well, no, let's just keep going. Not even going to mention names or anything like that. I'm just going to remove the people who are being obnoxious or rude. Um, let's see here. I'm just going to move forward a little bit. Well, that's the thing is, I mean, you can look throughout history, and yes, we have, as Christians, or the Crusades, have killed many people who were not Christian or would not bow their knee to a cross or anything like that. Out of, for what reason? You know, for what reason? Let's see here. Sheila, I know God doesn't want us to, and it, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like I was saying before, I mean, hatred or negative energy in any form is, it's a life suck. It takes away your energy, it takes away your joy. It could take a lot more than that, because I mean, there are people out there who get so negative about one thing or another, or so depressed, and make the wrong decisions, or judgments that they shouldn't have made. I mean, I've seen too many people, families, couples torn apart because of negativity. And I am so happy that Jerry lets it slide for the most part, because there's been a lot of times that it's like, I mean, Jerry doesn't want to feel like a burden. And so she's trying to be like, if you want a divorce, I can understand. No, I'm sorry, divorce is not part of my ways, I guess you'd say. So it's like, I can understand what she's saying, but at the same time, it's like, no, no, no. I'm not gonna leave in the middle of a crisis. Um, Mona, well, I'm not gonna really talk about that crafty gypsy, because there's a lot of controversy and whatnot over the whole ordeal, misunderstandings and whatnot. Mona basically answered you, but I don't want to talk about it, because it's one of those, like, um, not my business, just not my business. Um, you don't know many how people do what the other people you named are doing what they do. You need to concentrate on you and your, yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, Sheila. I'm basically, I don't go snooping around trolling or anything like that. um, People that I know that are part of their group, if I catch them, I'm like, whose side are you on? Because I'm not gonna have, basically, I'm not gonna have backstabbers coming into my channel to either disrupt my channel or ask questions that they're basically, they're fishing for information. Um, and no, I'm not. No, I don't deal with that. As far as I'm concerned, it's a combination of none of my business, and I really don't care. Um, so yeah. Oh, Jay just told me the dog's awake. Um, Cindy P. Okay, like Cindy who? Um, so it's one of those things, like, I'm not dealing with the negativity. I'm not trying to let them get under my skin. I do have some concerns that have to do with them, and well, I'm gonna say it, them and my mom. I love my mom to death. I don't try to control. I don't control her at all. She can go listen to whomever. I'm just hoping that, and I've talked to her about this, and she's told me she knows the difference between their lies and what really happens or anything like that. So I'm just like, I'm trying to keep a watch on my mom, because I know how she can be sometimes. I used to be the same way. Um, I don't want her to become a doormat. Um, I don't want her to fall into their deceptions. Um, I really wish mom never got involved with these people, but somehow she did. And I'm just kind of like, as long as you understand, and you got full, um, I don't even know what the word I wanted to use for, because I don't want to, like, put my mom down, but I just worry that you know something will be said or go wrong, and mom will fall down a rabbit hole. So it's one of those concerns that I have. But I know my mom is she's a smart. She is very smart. You know, she's very capable of taking care of her own finances and taking care of herself. You know, but I know what they did to me in the past, and I don't want that happening to mom. Um, Mom, you might not be able to see her comments because you might not have subscribed to her. I don't know. Um, Limber.
No, I can't see her comments. I've never been able to see her comments, and she's afraid to let me see her comments.
Okay. Um, but anyhow, oh, yeah, I see that everybody's trying to keep that positive. There's just one person whose comment was not necessary and not needed. Um, okay. Well, that's the thing is, if they want the best for us, one, they would stop making videos about us and leave us alone. And two, the videos they do make have been very sarcastic and rude and nasty. So I have a hard time believing that they're not trying to be rude or nasty. They're trying to be helpful. They're not. They're not. Because the last time they were allowed to speak on my channel or Jerry's channel, they were ripping into both of us, and I said enough is enough, and I don't want anything to do with them. Um, Thank you for saying what you just said, Sheila. Because I want to keep it positive. I don't want any negativity in these channels. Um, so it's one of those things where it's like I just want it to stay nice and calm. I don't want anybody arguing with each other. I don't want I don't want any of the craziness that it was before because I hated it. I really did. Even though somebody came on here and said you love the chaos. No, I don't. I do not love chaos. There's enough around my house and around me. I don't need the extra chaos. And Limber, Mona has been respectful to me, especially today. The last time she was on here, she was, but she only stayed on here for a short moment. Her father was here as well. Um, I don't know why they left. I don't know what exactly happened. And um, no, Nelly, mom did not block anybody, so I don't know what's going on. Um, Hello, Corey. Well, that's the thing, Corey. There will always be some sort of conflict between human beings. We are, unfortunately, I'm going to say it, we are a bunch of chaotic. Um, I don't want to say that we're parasites because that would be kind of rude. But we are very destructive, not only towards each other, but towards the planet that we have to live on. And it's weird why people are the way they are. Um, so yeah, I mean, if it's not a border territorial type dispute, it's a religious dispute, it's a governmental dispute, things like that, and it's just like that's nuts. Um, let's see here. I guess Limber can still see Flower Girl because I blocked her. In fact, I thought I'd literally took her off the board. Lumber, just ignore her. We don't know what happened between you and my mom. So why my mom can't see your comments is a mystery. Um, well, that would be the thing, Cindy. If we found um, a piece of property with a house already on it with plenty of land, it would be something to decide or discuss.
Mom's up, I heard you say, right?
Huh?
Mom's up, I heard you say,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, Cindy, like I said, it's one of those things that we haven't decided what's going on. I mean, it's one of the different options that I put out there. Um, Mom sounded like she would go for that option to, have a nice big property with a house already on there, and either she would live in a smaller house or if the main house was adequate enough for her, it would be between the three of us on who lived where and how. Um, but like you see down here, Cindy, she doesn't want a big house. Um, uh, well, Cindy P, it's one of those things like if you're not moving right away, and you pack up something that you may need before you actually move, that's a pain in the ass to find it. So no. Um, Cindy P, first off, you don't know my mom, and you trying to get me to see things is going to be very impossible because um, anybody who wants to act like an authority figure, I will totally just block out or ignore because I hate people who try to be a total try to be a authority figure over me. I'm very rebellious against authority. Um, and Cindy P, you're starting to sound like somebody from um, where am I? Ooh, ow. Sometimes when people say things we don't want to hear, we take it as negativity. We need to try to find the good in everything. You're correct on that, Sheila. And I am trying to find the good in everything. It's just when people come out like I know Sally, I know Jerry Ann. Really? How do you know 'em? Do you know them from just YouTube, or have you dealt with the person in real life? If you haven't dealt with the person in real life, you really don't know them. You know. Let's see here. I will be the first to tell you that I love your mom. We love your mom and would never hurt her. Even my dad cares about her. I don't think anybody will hurt her. Well, not physically. It's the overly suggestiveness of what to do. It's one of those things where it's like mom has her own mind. Mom can make a decision. If her decision changes, like let's say tomorrow, she finds a place that she can afford and really wants to move into. Okay, let's start talking about moves, relocating, that kind of stuff. Or she can wake up tomorrow morning, talk with her talk with the people that she needs to talk to, and find out that no, not going to work because it's too much money, or it's going to be too much difficulty to live on whatever money is left over. Um, and then she can come to like she can decide to say, okay, at strike three, let's try to find a place where we can all live and be happy. You know, a nice piece of property with land, so that she can have her tiny house and that kind of thing. We don't know. I change my mind a lot too. So it's not one of those like, I'm trying to tell mom what to do, that she should not move out. I'm just saying, as long as you're comfortable and you can handle all the payments, and still have money to save up and blah, 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 go for it. Um, so it's one of those like, we never know what can happen the next day. Oh, I know how smart my mom is and how well she is. We used to play trivia a lot, and it was always either mom or Jerry going to win, because unless you're doing just all nature on with me, maybe I'll have a chance of winning. I don't know. Um, Caramel's never fooled. Okay. Um, Limber, I don't know why she can't see your comments or anything like that. So maybe it's something to do with settings or something. I don't know. Um, well, I know you've been straight up with me, Mona. That's why I don't think you or your father would be harmful. It's the other ladies that I worry about. Um, Shield Maiden, you guys don't have to remind me about how smart my mom is. I've lived with her just about all my life, except for 13 years of it. So, yeah, you don't have to tell me about my mom. Um, okay, you're just being a clown, and I don't need that right now. So, see yous. Oh, I know nobody's perfect. I mean, I look at myself all the time going, yeah, I'm the role model for not being perfect. Um, I mean, mom's probably got a lot of great stories about me growing up and our lives in various places. So, yeah. Hey, Bluegrass, you missed it. You're going to have to go back and watch the Bible verse that I chose and what I had to think about it or say about it. And I'm actually going to be getting off this soon because I've got projects to finish before bedtime. We started basically moving stuff around in our bedroom, and it looks like it's going to be good. And as we move stuff, we're like, oh, that's where it went. Look at all those dustbins. Sweep up the floor. So yeah, we were kind of busy this morning, and I got to re-angle my camera because of the window glare. So it's been a good day. Um, I don't think Jerry Ann's on unless she slipped in here. You probably said hi when she was going from bedroom to restroom and back. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, Oreo's in the bedroom. We got a squeaky toy, and anytime the dog has a squeaky toy, it's like keep her in there. Because I'm not fond of the squeaky noises. You got the kids. Oh, fun. I just put them in front of the game controller, the game system, and let them deal. Mom, have you and Carla gotten out much?
Not in the last couple days,
Not in the last couple of days.
but
I think it
tomorrow
was.
starts a new week.
Um, she went out to do a hair appointment. I think Friday,
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, I get my days mixed up. Um, but yeah. Do. No one could. My mom is such a great person, and I love her to death. I really do. But there are times where it's like I feel like the roles have been reversed. She's the kid, and I'm the grown up. And the reason why I say that is because um, she is. I don't want to say she's not familiar with the internet or anything like that, but she's not very familiar with YouTube and the people who are on YouTube and the people who come onto YouTube to find innocent people to just find a way to either manipulate or tear apart. And that's why I'm like, I really don't want you dealing with these people that are just mis- misleading, um, narcissistic, that kind of they what they call us is what they basically are. They're basically looking in a mirror, thinking they're looking at another person, but they should be looking at themselves type thing. So it's just one of those like, um, whoop, don't do that. Um, well, Mona, I appreciate what you're saying. I really do. They may have helped you, but um, when I was dealing with them and I realized they were fishing and trying to get information from me, and then when I wasn't online with them, they turned and basically tore up Jerry and tore me up. And when I started to rebuke them and tell them the truth and whatnot, they basically outright called me a liar and basically stabbed me in the back. And I went, I'm done with those people. I don't trust those kind of people no more. So if you're not having any problem with them or not, that's good for you. I just don't trust them because of what they did to me. It's fun to be the babysitter, Bluegrass. Um, on here, or did you send me something? Because I haven't checked my emails or messages in a while. Um, let's see here. So the Bluegrass, you've listened in on them, and you feel that there's a lot of positivity towards Jerry or myself. Because if it's positivity between them, that's one thing. But when you put me or Jerry in the mix, um, no, it's knives out. So I'm sorry to disagree, but I will agree to disagree. um, oh, is that what that was? Okay, okay. I thought I saw something that looked like a flight sim. Oh, you're right, Sheila. I do have some concerns of not being in the same building as my mom, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, she deserves her freedom. She deserves her peace and quiet and her calm, and she deserves a lot more than I can provide. But I would just like to be close enough to you know walking distance, basically. Um, but it is what it is. Uh, yeah, the email you sent me has a different name than what you have here, and sometimes I don't connect the two, so it's kind of like, okay. But yeah, now that you told me what it looked like, yeah, I did see it. Um, well, the thing is, last time I saw one of their lives, I was just kind of like, where are you guys getting this nonsense? And then, oh no, I gotta get my Ritalin. Shoot, okay, or did I? I don't remember, Jerry. I have to literally look. Um, so it's one of those things where it's like I would love to be notified when their next live is, so I can jump in and basically lay down some truth that they're either missing, or basically ask them what's so important about my life or my wife's life that you have to basically basically stock us just for what content? You can't make up your own content, you know. Like I've said many a time, there is 24 hours in a day. People are lucky to see me or my wife for 2 hours when we do a live, or whatever time it is that Jerry does vlogs. So they're taking 2 hours of somebody's life out of a 24-hour day to create content, and a lot of that content is either false or misleading or half cocked from the old videos I've seen. So it's kind of like one of those. Why would I want to watch this crap? Um, you're right, Bluegrass. We shouldn't talk about them. I did notice that, Lucy. And we have looked at a lot of places. It's just the last place that we wanted to go look at. There was so many bids or offers already on that location that we would not have had a chance to to get that piece of property. Um, Sandra, I do, but I also know that I have this like give it up to God, but God also expects us to do our fair share of the work. That's my belief, because um, you know God can't do everything for us. He can see this is okay. I'm gonna skip a bunch of your guys' comments. Oh no, I don't have to. Okay, I just have to keep it where I was last. Um, I like I said, I grew up Christian. I understood that you give God what you can give, and if you can give it all to Him, that's great. Thing is, one, I'm not a very patient person because of my ADD. I'm not very patient because of a lot of different reasons. Okay, but then I also learned from reading the histories and reading the lifestyle and the way the Norsemen were my ancestors, basically. And basically, what they do is they work hard. They do everything themselves, basically. And then they give praise to their gods for the assistance that they might have given, the assistance that they received. If they had, they basically they lived a harsh lifestyle. So to be able to live through a harsh winter, spring festivals come, and they give unto their gods, just like the Jewish people used to give unto to God sacrifices. And It was all animals, by the way, so don't get your druthers up. But that's me. I would rather work my ass off, not asking for any help. And then once the deed or the chore is done, give praise that I was able to muster up the strength or the willpower to do what I had to do. You know, that's my way of doing things. Now, yes, I do pray to God for like guidance or hopeful answers or, things like that. Excuse me. Um, Tomorrow, Monday night? Okay, well, I will try to remember that. What? I don't know what she's trying to say to me. But yeah, it's Monday, you said. What particular time? Because I think so. Yes. But yeah, it's all right. Um, okay, where am I? Where am? Oh, there we go. Um, James, happy yesterday even. Bluegrass. What do you mean by that? Because I don't quite understand. Yeah, I agree with you there, Sheila. Um, I never said God's words were a suggestion, Sandra. Um, so I'm not sure what you're going at there. Okay. 7 Central. Okay. Somebody by the name of Pocket. Oh, you already got rid of their comment.
Yeah, evidently Nellie said she would join today.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna be getting off because I've been on here for ooh just over an hour, 69 minutes. And I've got like things that I want to do and finish up and that kind of stuff. Yep. So, any quick questions before I sign off? No questions? Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna sign off then. I will be on probably Tuesday. So until then, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.